Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Nickel City Rush Hour. We got a fun one for you tonight. I know I say that all the time, but I promise you this is going to be a good one. We got some of our friends that we haven't seen in a while. Over there on the right, you got Mr. Chris Caldwell, and you got Rick Mukherjee, they're part of Nickel City Mafia. Rick does the golf show with Tony, and then Chris does our fantasy football show. And they used to do the fantasy football show together. But and we signed up Jeremy last year. But guys, it's been a while since we've had you on a pod with us. So we're super excited. Thank you for making the time. One thing I wanted to talk to you about, because, it's crazy that we're talking about the Super Bowl, Chiefs and the Niners. And here we are, Jake and I, Bills fans. Chiefs broke our heart. Then they went to Baltimore for the AFC Championship game. Baltimore was the favorite. We all expected the Ravens to come away with a win. Rick, you traveled from California to Baltimore. Rick, Chris, you live in Baltimore. But tell us about the experience. First of all, start with the tailgate, because that looked like a pretty legit tailgate. And Chris, you are like rocket scientist during the day and DJ on the weekend.
Podcaster at night.
Podcaster at night. Tell us about the tailgate and what was going on and how you became this DJ, and just give us the whole play-by-play there.
Yeah, so a buddy of mine has like a travel agency tailgate type company, and I met him like 9 or 10 years ago, and obviously I love the Ravens and the Orioles, and I like to travel, so it was a natural fit. So I kind of linked up with him and been helping him out with some road trips and some home tailgates. So yeah, kind of learned to DJ along the way, so it's really worked out. And the tailgate before AFC Championship game, did you guys see videos or pictures or something? Rick, were you sending them pictures, videos?
Yeah, I didn't send anything. I don't remember, but yeah, it was a great time.
I think you did, Rick. You sent some pictures of Chris.
That shows how great the tailgate was.
Let's go, baby.
So yeah, I don't know. There was probably about 1,000 people there. There was a country singer, Adam Doliak, that performed, and then I DJ'd a little bit. And then there was this famous DJ. I'd never heard of him, but the women love him. It's this guy Blake from The Bachelorette. He was like one of the final contestants on The Bachelorette. I had never seen the guy, but apparently, I don't know. He's got like 700,000 Instagram followers. Really outstanding DJ. Cool guy. So it was a hell of a time, and weather cooperated pretty much. I mean, it was like misting all day, but stayed pretty dry. And then, about the game, I think the Ravens lost way more than the Chiefs won, if that makes sense. We played our worst game of the year, and at the wrong time, and couldn't make a play, never got a call, always got calls against us at the absolute worst time. It was like the game was just, I wanted to gouge my eyes out. It was like the hardest game to watch because nothing ever went right, not one time. So anyway, huge disappointment. Ravens off season's off to a really rough start. We lost 3 coaches already, maybe 4 by now, and all on the defensive side of the ball. So we're reeling a little bit right now. So I kind of can't wait for the NFL draft and for free agency to start. I need some good news. What was your take of the game, Rick?
Yeah, same. The tailgate was really fun. I had a good time. I was pretty drunk and taking pictures of Chris on the DJ stage. The other fun thing about that tailgate is a lot of ex-Ravens players come to the tailgate. There was Chris McAllister and Dennis Pitta and Todd Heap, and they all came to the tailgate. Awesome. Hung out, served some drinks, took pictures with fans. So the guy who runs that tailgate is really good about being able to get legends of the Ravens to come by and take pictures with fans. He's never been able to pull the Ray Lewis card. He's never been able to get Ray Lewis, but
not true.
Oh, right. He came to a tailgate?
Yeah, last year. Remember when Tony Saragusa passed away?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Ray Lewis came to the tailgate to promote Tony's charity called Goose Flights.
Nice, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like almost every Ravens legend has come to that tailgate before. But, yeah, it was fun. The game itself obviously sucked. Like Chris said, I feel like not a single thing went our way. The first time I had a glimmer of hope was Zay Flowers crossing the end zone for a touchdown, and realizing a second later that he fumbled the ball 1 yard before the goal line and costing us 7 points there. If he scores there, I'm like 100% convinced that we win that game if that's a touchdown. And yeah, it was rough. It's rough seeing. I feel I'm not gonna say unfair officiating, but very one-sided officiating help dictate a game like that. I don't know if it's because this guy favors the road teams or if he's a fan of Taylor Swift. I don't know what the situation is, but it definitely didn't seem like we got a single call go our way. And beyond that, we just panicked and we didn't run the ball as much as we should have. We didn't. It seemed like we were trying to play catch up by throwing the ball too much, and wasn't fun. The trip itself was fun, but very, very sad flight home back to California. And it seems like me and Mike were just talking about, it seems like I brought all the rain with me because it's nonstop rain here in California for the last week or so. So, but yeah, I mean, to be completely honest with you, I really, really, really hope the Chiefs lose on Sunday. I really hate them. I don't know how you guys feel about them being having your hearts broken multiple times over the last few years as Bills fans, that you just want to see the Chiefs lose. I know I feel that way right now. I'm so sick and tired of seeing this Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce stuff and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I'm just so sick and tired of it. I want to see Kyle Shanahan win a Super Bowl. I want to see an underdog like Brock Purdy win a Super Bowl. So I'm just biased in that situation. But yeah, I just hope the Ravens and Bills can do something next year. I hope one of our teams win the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah, we'll get
Amen,
into
brother.
we'll get into how we feel about those Chiefs here in a little bit. I did and Rick, to answer your question, the NFL is scripted. That's become more and more apparent. I did want to ask, what's the cost to get into that tailgate? Seems like high rollers.
No, it's not bad. I as a consumer, Chris gets in for free because he's working as a DJ. But me as a consumer, I paid $85 for the tailgate, and it was all you can eat, all you can drink.
Oh my
Wow,
goodness.
that's not bad at all.
Yeah, and
4 hours.
and this one was a little bit longer of a tailgate because I think the doors opened at like 9:30 in the morning and didn't wrap up until 2:30 because the game was at 3. Usually when they do a tailgate, it's the game start at 1 if it's a home game at 1. So usually the tailgate's like 9 to 12:30, but this time it was like almost like 5.5 hours. So it was it's very easy to get your money's worth. So I ate a lot, I drank a lot, I definitely got my money's worth there, and then the rest happened.
Yeah, I can
You
imagine.
guys got a long way to go. I'm just going to say something right now. We start tailgating usually the Monday before the game. So, Monday right to Sunday. No, on the real though, there is an RV lot. It wasn't really open this year, but we made our own makeshift RV lot basically, and those people started filing in. Typically, if the game was on Sunday, it'd be like Thursday, and they would just tailgate throughout. So just
Bills
different
fans
breed
are
up here.
breed. Yeah,
different breed. But I freaking love that. I saw the picture of Todd Heap that fired me up. That's one of my favorite players of all time growing up. Still is. Still love the guy. And Dennis Pitta too. Chris McAllister. You and Rick.
Yeah.
Or Rick and Chris. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I think the coolest guest, and they were a total surprise. Brandon Hyde, the Orioles manager of the year in 2023. He showed up with like 10 Orioles players.
Ooh, that's cool.
Oh,
Just rolled in hot, and it was those boys were partying, and Hyde was too.
love it.
I mean, it's a fun bunch. I mean, as soon as we lost the next day, I was like, when's spring training? I'm ready for baseball. Let's go.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine the brutal ride home for you, Rick, because I know how hard it was for us when we lost, and I didn't have to get on an airplane. And did you have you have some Chiefs fans on there making it even worse for you, or?
I didn't see many Chiefs fans on the way back. I saw a few Ravens jerseys on my flight going back to San Diego, and everyone just seemed kind of sad. Any third party person I kind of ran into because I was wearing like Ravens gear on the plane
Yeah.
on the way home. They're like, "Sorry, man, that was a tough game last night." I got a lot of that from those. From
That's
people,
good at
but
least.
yeah, so it seems like people were sympathetic. It seems like the general gist of people was they wanted the Ravens to win and the Chiefs to lose.
Yeah, we get that with the Bills as well. We get people that say that to us. I know Jake does. I know I do out here in Cali.
One more thing about the ref,
yeah,
though.
yeah.
So don't home teams typically win like 60, 61%, 62% of the time? That's like the going rate, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this guy, the home team wins 42% of the time in all the games he's ever reffed. Like, do you feel like he's like purposely like not trying to bias himself to the home team like so much that he like overdoes it? I mean, that's like a glaring statistical difference. Big math guy over here.
Love that. No, I would agree, Chris. I mean, you're not too far off there. There is probably a conceited effort on his end where it's like, listen, I gotta stick with this reputation that I have, and I cannot give the Ravens any slack. I don't care who it is. I don't care how much the Chiefs are this hated team now. All of a sudden, he couldn't do it, and I mean, it was pretty evident. You know, I will say there were some pretty bad calls, but the Ravens also sort of did it to themselves at times too. I mean, there were some boneheaded plays by them. So it wasn't all just the refs. It's like at times it's like, hey, we have no choice but to, throw a flag.
Yeah. There were Jake to that point. There were a few personal fouls when I was in the stadium. I was like, no way that was a personal foul. But then like when I watched the highlights and stuff when I got back home, I was like, okay, yeah, like the roughing the passer when Mahomes got hit in the face. Like at first I was like, no way that's a personal foul, but yeah, that's definitely a personal foul. So they definitely shot themselves in the foot a little bit too.
Can I get your guys' opinion on all right, Flowers fumbled, we got the ball back, and then we took it down the field, and Lamar threw an interception in the end zone. It threw it in triple coverage, but they asked Lamar like, "What's up with that throw?" And he was like, "Well, I back shouldered likely because he had a step on the guy, and when he went back for the ball, I thought he was going to get a PI." That's what Lamar said.
Big time PI, huge
and
PI
so
missed call.
So it was the easiest interception of that guy's life.
Yeah.
But if you watch it in slow-mo and like the camera that shows from another angle, Isaiah Likely was being tackled and on the ground by the time the ball was intercepted. So I get you don't throw it into triple coverage, but you have to give him a chance to make a play on the ball. So it's stuff like that where I just feel like if that was Travis Kelce, like there's no doubt in my mind that's a PI.
Fair.
I agree.
That's fair. Yeah, and that was 100%. By definition, that was pass interference. I don't care. Like you said, Chris, I don't care if he's throwing it into triple coverage. If the guy is literally tackled, you have to throw the flag there, right? I mean, no matter what, you're throwing the flag.
They treated it like it was a Hail Mary with 2 seconds left rather than, a potential like game tying touchdown pass with 6 minutes left. I'm going to stop bitching about the Ravens.
Chris, I will say this.
Hey, it's all right, man.
I was cheering for you guys, and of course, I had my son next to me. Of course, he loves the Ravens, but I didn't see it as a PI. I'm sorry. I'm going to say that right now. I didn't see it as a PI. I thought it was too close to call it, and I just put that on Lamar. I mean, he did that in the Bills game. Remember a couple years ago in the playoffs? They're marching. He throws the pick six to my guy, Taron Johnson. He's done that a couple times now. So, anyhow.
Yeah, and I will say this. I don't think the Ravens still even played good enough to win that game. Like, they did everything in their power to lose. There was no redeeming quality.
They played their worst game of the year. They did everything wrong. They got 0 calls. Chiefs got most calls, and they were a Zay Flowers fumble away from tying the game. So
that is true.
It kind of shows, I think, how good of a team and coaching staff we have this year. I just don't see a situation in the near future where we have as good of a roster and as good of a coaching staff as we just had. So I'm a little sad.
I was expecting the text group chat to be talking about firing John Harbaugh. I was expecting that from Rick, but we'll save that for another show.
Quick though, Rick, where do you land? Fire him or keep him? Real quick, just one word: fire or keep.
Fire him. I'm still on that boat.
There it is, Chris.
All right, fair.
I'm a big keep guy.
He's keeping him. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, Jake. If I had my way, and we could have like done something like in the sense like
Mike
kind of
McDonald
what
coached 3 years.
Seahawks did.
Yeah.
Seahawks did promote Pete Carroll to the front office, just promote John Harbaugh to the front office, whatever, and then promote
That would've been nice.
Mike McDonald, the head coach. I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got a couple segments for you. We're going to get into how we all see this game going, who's going to win this game. We're going to give a score prediction. And then the second half of it was we're going to get into some fun prop bets. I mean, Rick and Chris are usually all about that. I know Jake dabbles a little bit. I'm just going to soak it all in because I would love to play some prop bets. So I'm going to count on these guys, my friends over here, to help me win a little money this weekend. So hang out for that. But let's get into this game. I mean, the Chiefs, they come into the AFC playoffs as the 3rd seed. The Bills were number 2, the Ravens number 1. And they come to Buffalo, and it was up to us to finally get the monkey off our back and dismiss KC from going to their 6th consecutive AFC championship game. We failed. But I had no doubt that Baltimore was going to finally put that at rest, and they failed. So, guys, I'm going to start with Rick. So here we are, Chiefs against Niners replay, or, we've had this game, what, was it 4 years ago now? Somewhere around there? 4 years ago? Somewhere around
season.
there. Okay. So, and we didn't have Brock Purdy, but I'm going to start with Rick because Rick he was the first person to call this out, and he's looking like he's right. I'm going to see if he's going to stick to his guns. He said Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. The greatest of all time. We had a lot of banter in our Discord one day when he put that out there, but it's hard to argue right now that he's on track to be the GOAT based on what he's doing. So, Rick, is the GOAT going to win this game? Tell me what your thoughts are, and how whoever wins, how they get it done.
No, Mr. Irrelevant is going to win this game. That's who's going to win this game. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of all time. You can't get me off that stance. I think he is. I mean, he doesn't have the accolades. He's getting close to the Tom Brady accolades. He's almost, a few more seasons like this, he's going to be there. But I just think pure talent wise, he's the best quarterback of all time. He literally took a team that doesn't know how to catch the ball to the Super Bowl this year, which is phenomenal. I mean, he literally has Travis Kelce and a bunch of bums that don't know how to catch the ball. But I think it's Kyle Shanahan's time, man. He's been really close. Obviously, as offensive coordinator with the Falcons, he should have won a Super Bowl. He came close a few years ago against the Chiefs, and I think it's his time, man. There was a lot of online banter when the Lions were kicking the Niners' butt last week at halftime. That, oh man, Kyle Shanahan choked again. They weren't ready to play. Blah blah blah. And you know what they did? They came out in the second half and they just whooped up on the Lions in the second half. They almost covered a 7-point spread when they were down 20 some points at halftime or whatever. So I just think that they're talented at every position on the field. The Niners are on offense, and I just think that for some reason, I just think that they're not going to make the same mistakes the Ravens did. I think they're going to utilize their best player on the field, which is Christian McCaffrey, and I think they're going to get him the ball. If the Chiefs and Steve Spagnuolo is going to do what he did against the Ravens and not blitz and drop back or whatever, he's going to design some plays out there for Debo and Ayuk and Kittle that I think that's going to get them loose and get them going. I'll be completely honest with you, Mike. My prediction, my real prediction for this game is that the Chiefs are going to be winning at halftime, and I think the 49ers are going to come back and win this game in the second half. So a little bit different, a little bit of the opposite of what the Chiefs did last year when they were losing to the Eagles at halftime, and then they came back and won the game. So, I mean, that's my prediction. I will say score-wise, 28-24, actually no, 27-24 Niners.
Does that cover the over, or is that the under? That
covers the over. The over under right now is 47.5. The Niners are favored by 2 points. So I think it's going to go over. Mm-hmm. Yep. I like the Niners and the over.
Beautiful. Chris, let me go to one of the Bills reps here. Let me go to Jake, and then I'll go back to Chris, because Chris looks like he's really engaging in some analytics, and I got to give him a little more time. So I can see that. So I'm going to go to you, Jake, on your thoughts on who wins this game, how
Well-
they get it done, and your score prediction.
We may need to clip this and make this one of my like most famous shorts of all time. Now, listen, I'm going to piggyback of what my guy Taylor Luan said for Bussin' with the Boys. Came out with this amazing long list of the number 13 and the whole conspiracy theory behind it. So first off, have you guys heard about this conspiracy theory with Taylor Swift and her obsession with the numerology and the number 13 and all that good stuff? Have you heard about any of that? Rick has.
It's her favorite number.
It's her favorite number. She came out and said this. I think she just won her 13th Grammy or came off her 13th Grammy or something like that. I'm gonna give you a long list of things here. So buckle up. You ready for this? Here we go. San Francisco 49ers are going to be taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 58. 5 + 8 is what, fellas?
13.
13. This will be okay. So I just said that one. The 49ers are playing in a game 4 and 9 added together equals
13.
The Niners are the 1 seed in the NFC, while the Chiefs are the 3 seed in the AFC. 1 and 3. 13. Taylor Swift is scheduled to take a plane from her concert in Tokyo, Japan to Las Vegas, Nevada. While not exact, the flight time from Tokyo to Las Vegas is roughly 13 hours. If Swift does indeed make it to the game, this will be her 13th appearance at a Kansas City Chiefs game this season. Also, the date of the Super Bowl, February 11th, 2/11. 2 + 11 is what, fellas?
13.
I'm not
Chris is
done.
loving
I'm
this.
not done. I'm not done yet. If you subtract 13 from 100, you get 87, which is the jersey number of Swift's boyfriend and Kansas City Chiefs tight end, Travis Kelce. But guess what? This is all going to come to a very, very strong halt because guess what? Number 13 for
Brock
the San
Purdy.
Francisco 49ers is Brock Purdy. So I took everything of what Taylor Lewan said there. I reread literally what he basically came out and said in the one video. And I've just said Brock Purdy as well is going to totally screw all this up. And he's going to win this game for the San Francisco 49ers of a score. I think it's going to be 31-28. You reverse the 3 and the 1, you get 13. So there you go. Niners 31, Chiefs 28. Boom, book it. You probably can't clip that. I was kind of all over the place. I tried to deliver that
It's
a
a little
lot better.
longer than a
It
minute.
didn't happen.
But we might
Very
be able to
choppy.
get some of it in as
Sure.
part of a minute. So we'll check it out on the replay. Good stuff. Yeah, I had seen that. Somebody had done that. It was a TikTok. Someone did that. It was a husband and wife, and they went through all of the different 13s. I was like, oh my God, that's
Crazy,
insane.
isn't it?
It was
It is
pretty-
a lot of coincidences.
it's
And
pretty
I
awesome.
am one to go down a rabbit hole or two. And even I'm like, man, and I'm, I'm all into this stuff, but really, I think you're stretching
Jake.
this a little much.
Jake, I got to stop you.
Yeah.
Guess who? All right. So I went down a rabbit hole real quick.
I
So
love this.
there's someone on the Chiefs that wears number 13. Najee Johnson. He's a safety. Looks
Yeah.
to be part-time player, special teams guy.
Love that. Yep.
Guess how many tackles he has this year?
13 tackles.
13.
Get out of here. What? Holy smokes. I got to take another sip of this.
He had
That's
8 in the regular season and 4 in the playoffs. He's trending up.
That's insane.
The couple that I was talking about, they even had more correlations to 13. It was crazy. I'll have to find it for you guys and send it to you.
It's wild.
It's fun.
It's wild.
All right, Chris, over to you, man. Your thoughts on this game? Who's going to win? How they get it done? And your score predictions, sir.
So I'm trying really hard to separate my wallet and my feelings, and it was really tough. I was like debating this all week. I want the 49ers to win because, like Rick, can't stand Kansas City right now. They're pretty unbearable to watch. But I also don't really love San Fran. So I decided to suck it up, not bet with my heart and, bet with my brain. And while it pains me to say it, I'm backing the Chiefs pretty confidently in this game. even heavier than on the Chiefs. I'm pretty all in on the under. I see both of you have high score predictions, but I like the under a lot. I think my favorite bet when talking about just sides of the game, bring in the teaser crew, KC +8, under 53.5. Just sounds like money in the bank to me. I think it's going to be pretty slow, methodical game. Shanahan's one of the most conservative coaches there is, and Andy Reid, since like week 11 or 12, has decided to just take the air out of the ball, lean on his defense, and run the ball. So to me, Chiefs have the better coach, the better quarterback, and the red hot defense. San Francisco's defense going the other way. Andy Reid in his career, 28-4 when coming off a week of rest. So bye or the game before week before the Super Bowl. Pretty good winning percentage there. And then this year, I just feel like the AFC has been better than the NFC in general all year long. We've kind of been talking about it on the channel a little bit, how AFC was just so deep. AFC's 46-34 against the NFC this year. I know it's only one game, so it doesn't really matter. But I just feel like AFC's superior conference. And then I forget exactly what the win percentage is, but heard it on the radio earlier. Teams that win 2 road games on their way to the Super Bowl have it's like an 80% win percentage in the Super Bowl. So all that sounds pretty good to me. I'm going to hate rooting for them, which is why when we get to the prop side, I'm going to have to dip my toe into some 49ers props because I can't just root for Mahomes and Kelsey all games. So
yeah.
But when betting the totals, I'm pretty. My bet of the game is KC +8, under 53.5.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
So for me, we got 2 for the Niners to say the Niners are going to win.
I flip-flop, by the way. Yesterday I said 31-28 Chiefs, but I was sick and tired of it. I read into those conspiracy theories, and I said, guess who else wears 13? Brock Purdy, and that's why I decided I'm flipping. I'm going with the Niners. Just had to say that.
Well, I'm not flipping. I said that whoever came out of the AFC was going to win the Super Bowl, and I think it's still true. I mean, Kansas City went through the Dolphins, they went through Buffalo, and they went through the Ravens, and they only gave up an average of 13.7
crazy
points per game. That's incredible when you think of the teams that they just played in the playoffs. One was at home, 2 on the road against the Bills and the Ravens. I mean, either one of those teams, if they're in the Super Bowl, they're winning this hands down. So I think KC wins this. And by the way, the Niners have been giving up an average of 26 points per
13
game. Now,
times 2.
Right, 26. They played 2
Come
games.
on,
Divide
man.
that, 13.
That's insane.
But they're giving up a lot of points. They're giving up a lot of yards on the ground. So the Chiefs can be run on as well. The Bills proved that. Bills, again, like you guys, I don't feel like we stuck with it, or they made some changes. The KC did to kind of start shutting it down a little bit in the second half, and they went away from it. But the Niners are giving up 159 yards per game on the ground. And that O-line from KC is stellar. I mean, I don't know how many times Mahomes has been touched in the playoffs, but not much. I don't know how many sacks you guys got. I know we got none. We might have touched them once. You guys got 1. It's just incredible how that O-line has come together. They revamped it again at the start of the year, and they did that a few years back. They revamped their bookends this year, and they did that after that loss to the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. Took them a while to get gelling, but guys, they are phenomenal in their run game.
They are.
What Pacheco is fantastic. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, and it's and to your point, Rick, I mean, they don't have much on offense other than Pacheco, Kelsey, and the GOAT, Mahomes. Feels a lot like Tom Brady, who could will his way to a win with less talented players around him than the other team. You look on the offensive side for the Niners, on paper, you got Kittle at tight end, you got Debo, and you got Ayuk, you got Christian McCaffrey. Oh my God, on paper, that offense should put up a lot of numbers and just win this game. But I feel the defense from KC is too damn good this year. And I feel like Mahomes is going to get it done. And I'm cheering, I'm rooting for the Niners. I never say the word hate. I tell my son, never say it. I don't hate the Chiefs. I dislike them a lot for breaking my heart, but I respect them. And I also appreciate what we're seeing here. Like I'm going to be able to tell my grandchildren, I saw Tom Brady, who GOAT number 1. And now I might be able to say, and I saw GOAT number 2, unfortunately. But I say it's the Chiefs, and the Chiefs big, 31-21.
Woo. Wow. All right, Mike. Good points, though. Very valid points. I can't hate on that too much. And you made a very good point about Isaiah Pacheco too. I mean, this guy's running wild lately. That interior offensive line has played the best football maybe of their entire careers, all of them. And
is Tooney going to play? Joe Tooney?
I think he does. Yeah, I know. So I'm looking right now at the injury report, and he didn't participate in practice. It is a pec injury, which is obviously concerning as an offensive lineman, but no chance he doesn't play in the Super Bowl, right? I mean, it's got to happen.
I don't know.
Well, so there you have it, guys. We're split on the board here. Pretty crazy that both our teams had a chance to knock them out. We didn't get it done, but
so sad.
It's going to be fun.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
As you said, the Chiefs went into Buffalo. They beat Buffalo. They went into Baltimore. They beat the number 1 seed Baltimore. The Niners coming into this game and Christmas Day, they got crushed by the Ravens. They got, pretty much dominated in that game. They looked very, very pedestrian against the Packers. They looked even more pedestrian against the Lions, to be honest, at least for 2.5 quarters. Why are the Chiefs not favored in this game? I'm very, very confused by that. I thought like for sure the Chiefs would be a 1 to 2, maybe even a 3-point favorite in this game. They seem like they have all the momentum coming in. They have, America's star and Taylor Swift on their backs. They beat 2 of the best teams in the league on the road coming in. They obviously have Mahomes, Reed, and Kelsey. Like, what does Vegas know here favoring the Niners by 2 points that we don't know? Because just from the eye test, I would think the Chiefs would be favored.
So I listened to a YouTube this week about that exact thing, and I guess the way that Vegas makes lines is it's the amount of points each team is better than the median. That's their assigned value, right? And they typically take your assigned value. It's not just your past, 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. They use like a 9 to 11 week span of how you're playing and your average outcomes into account when assigning your value. So the 49ers haven't really been bad, until the last 3 weeks here, 3 or 4 weeks. So I think that they were just so dominant earlier in the year and just blowing the brakes off people that it still holds some weight. So I basically Vegas is just trying to make a line that's going to split the money 50-50, right? That's their goal.
They're not reaching their goal right now because it seems like all the money's coming in on Kansas City.
Yeah, is the public? I mean, is that public information? You can see what percentage of people are betting Chiefs.
There's websites out there that show it. I don't know how trustworthy they are or how accurate they are, but I'll tell you what my site says right now. Let's see here, NFL. Right now, it's looking like on the site that I track that stuff at, it looks like the 81% of the cash is coming in on the Chiefs and 77% of tickets are coming in on the Chiefs.
Wow.
That's big
wild.
disparity.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And the line has it
hasn't moved at all. I mean, it opened at 2.5 or 2 and it stayed there the whole time. What do you think, Chris? What do you think the line's going to be at kickoff? Do you think it's going to be like a pick, or do you think it's going to be like -1 Niners? Do you think the line's going to go down?
I think it'll be -2 at kickoff.
-2 for the Niners or the Chiefs? Okay.
Not
I was gonna say that'd be a crazy swing if that happened. Has that ever even happened? I mean, obviously, if there was an injury, I'm sure it would. shift a
I'm,
lot.
I'm
like
seeing
that.
it at 2.5 now, Rick. So I think it'll have to go down in favor to the Niners eventually to even out the money. So it'll go to 2, maybe touch 1.5, I would think, to try to get the money even, and then end up at 2, I would think.
Crazy, man.
That's crazy.
Maybe
Sports
they're
betting,
looking
man.
at the
Fascinating.
the number of Pro Bowlers that made the Pro Bowl, and that's how they're judging it. Because I think the
Hey, can we get a number on that for both teams combined? How many Pro Bowlers they had on each?
13.
If it's
I'm gonna
13, I'm
guess
walking out
13.
the door.
I would fall. Yeah, I would just
I'm
fall back.
currently Googling, hold tight.
Because I mean, on paper, you look at the Niners, man, on offense and defense, they've got stars.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs do to some degree, but not like the Niners do. So
Guess what 8 plus 5 is? 13. Guess who wears 85? George Kittle. This is going to be all show
We can do
now.
that with so many players.
you guys,
Right? It's going to be all show now.
fun stuff.
Oh
All right.
my gosh, so close.
Really?
14 Pro Bowlers between the two teams.
14. Wow.
14 Pro Bowlers.
What was the split?
9 for San Fran and 5 for the Chiefs.
There you go. There you go, Rick. That's what they're judging off of.
I guess. I mean, it's just really, for me, it just seems like a really, really fishy line. I just thought for sure that the Chiefs would be favored in this game, and the fact that they're favoring the Niners, just given what they, what's happened in the last month of the season, I'm frankly shocked at the line. But it's a small enough spread where even if the Niners were, the KC was favored, they'd be only favored by a point or two. It's basically just asking you to who's going to win the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like the likelihood of it being a 1 or 2 point game is very, very low. So who knows? It is what it is. But yeah, man, a lot of money, it seems like, coming in on the Chiefs, and the line's like standing pretty pat at 2.5.
So Rick, are you on the Niners because you think the line is fishy, so you want to attack that? Or are you on the Niners because you just can't root for the Chiefs?
No, it's not even that. I think the Niners are going to win the game. I just think they're gonna. I think it's going to be what's the line, Jake? Revenge is a best served
A
cold
dish,
dish.
something like that.
I think it's
You were
going to be a big revenge situation from a few years ago when they lost the Super Bowl. And like I said before, I just think I really do believe that Kyle Shanahan is, if not the best, one of the best coaches in the NFL, especially at drawing up plays, especially at creating an offensive game plan for the game. And I think they're going to be able to do it. And I think they're not going to panic if they're down. We obviously saw that last week when they were down to the Lions. And like the Ravens did, the Ravens panicked when they were 7 or 10 points down to the Chiefs. I just don't think if they're losing, I don't think they're going to panic. And I think they're going to draw up some good plays and come back and win this game.
You make a good point there, Kyle Shanahan. So you go back to that 2016 Super Bowl where he's the offensive coordinator for the Falcons and they're going against New England, right? So they blow that lead. Yep. And then the 2019 Super Bowl where he's the head coach of the 49ers, they blow that lead against the Chiefs. The Chiefs win that game. And then this whole entire postseason, I mean, the Niners have essentially been pretty badly beaten the first 3 quarters, and it looks like things are bleak. But where the biggest amount of growth has been shown is the fact that they're able to somehow pull through and secure a victory. So I think, third time's a charm for sure. So I feel like Kyle Shanahan has learned and he's grown so much from all these other experiences where they've either been up or they've been down and they couldn't come back. It's their time. It's their time.
Well, I mean, let's be real. They had Dan Campbell helping them out last. They
shouldn't
even be in the Super Bowl.
I got another 13 for you, Jake.
Uh-oh.
I just looked it up.
Oh yeah, what do we got?
Ready?
Yep.
Now, who's the halftime performer this year?
Usher.
Guess how old he was when he lost his virginity?
Get out of here. 13?
Wow. Yeah, I looked it up. I just Googled Usher 13 and it was the first thing that popped up.
No way. That's crazy. Let's see. Usher, USHER 5. Hold on. Post Malone, POSTMA. No, never mind.
Is he performing too, Post Malone?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Right? Isn't it Post Malone
I don't
and
know. I don't
Usher?
know.
I
Something
keep
like that?
expecting him all of a sudden. It goes dark and Taylor Swift comes.
That's what
out on
everyone keeps
stage.
saying.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, there should be a prop bet on that. But let's get into prop bets. Let's go. So, Chris and Rick, and I'm going to count on you guys a lot because last year you were fantastic as well. So, Chris, let's start with you. Give us some prop bets. Give us some ones that you realistically think can hit. Let's make some money this weekend. We got Tony here. He joined us. Toka, Cammy, and Bale. Tony's he's going to be placing the bets for us. No, he's not in Vegas anymore. He was, but I still have some friends in Vegas, so we can cut out the middleman and have them place some bets for us. So, Chris, why don't you kick it off with the prop bets?
Yeah, I have 4 on my mind right now, so maybe me, Rick, Jake can go back and forth here and do a little round robin. But the first one I have, I know Jake will love this one. I'm gonna do a little special teams action here. Yeah. I am gonna bet the over on both punters' longest punt, and I will tell you why. So this is Tommy Townsend and Wishnowsky. Townsend's over 55.5. Wishnowsky's over 56.5. Here's my rationale. So as you heard earlier, I'm all in on the under. I think Pacheco is going to have a huge game against the bad KC Rush defense. I think CMC is the focal point of their offense. I think there's going to be low scoring, but I think it's going to be the game's going to be controlled by defense. That is good for punting distance because you're going to have some 3-and-outs, or you're going to have some, just one first down and then punt. What you don't want to happen is have the team get to the 50-yard line, because then you're doing a little pooch punt. You're getting 35, 40-yard punts because they're not trying to kick it far. I think in a defensive game, when you're punting from your own 25, your own 30, your own 35, you're giving it your all. This game's in a dome. This game is in the desert. And I just think it lines up perfectly. There's 8.5 punts. That's the over-under for number of punts in this game. So if you're telling me each of these punters is going to get about 4 to 5 chances to get a punt over 56 yards, I'm all in. I'm like super confident in this bet. What do you guys think?
Well, what does that pay out? And then second of all,
I'm trying to find it right now, actually.
Yeah, what does that
it's
pay out?
1-to-1. So that's the line set. So it's going to be like a minus 110.
Okay. 56 yards. I'm assuming it's not net. It's gross, right? It's not net.
It's gross.
Okay. 56
Perfect.
yards, Chris. I'm not a fan of it. But let me get these other 2 experts' opinions on this bet.
I didn't think we'd be leading off with a punt bet, but I don't know. I really don't know. I can't imagine there not being many sustained drives for them to punt a ball over 56.5 yards or whatever. You're looking at a punt that's coming from your side of the field, and I think there's going to be a lot of offense in this game, and I think there's going to be a lot of sustained drives that are going to reach at least midfield or 40-yard line or the opposite side of the field. So, and then we both know that both of these teams are pretty aggressive and knowledgeable when it comes to analytics. So I think there's chances that on 4th and short they're going to go for it. So I'm not a huge fan of that bet, Chris. I don't know.
I mean, it depends if you think it's a defensive game or an offensive game. So I'm going to lean pretty heavily on defensive side of the game. So that's what kind of swayed me, plus the dome. So that's where I'm at with it.
Well, you do know who kicks and punts in that dome, right? I mean, we got arguably the greatest special teams unit in the NFL, so I think I love this bet. I'm taking it, Chris. I'm still trying to find it. I don't know where I'm going to find this bet.
So here's my thing. I'm going to bet both of them. If you hit one, lose the other, you break even. It's all right.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, you hedge it a little bit. I respect that. It's a good take. It's a good take.
I like it. All right, Rick, what do you have for us?
I have one prop bet placed that I actually placed before the NFC Championship game, which I've gotten really good value on. I got before the Niners and the Lions game, I got Debo to be the Super Bowl MVP at 50-1. Right now he's down to 20-1. So I got that in before the NFC Championship game. I'll be completely honest with you, Mike. I am all in on Debo props this week. I love the over on his receiving yards, which is 59.5. I love the over on his rushing yards, which I believe is like right around, what is it?
16.5.
16.5. I think he's going to be really highly utilized in this game. That's my main focus on props. I got some silly ones later, but my main focus on props is going to be Debo. I think I'm going to just lay down bets on all his overs when it comes to receiving and rushing and scoring a touchdown. I think he's very probability is very high for him to be a touchdown scorer. So first touchdown score in the game, anytime touchdown score in the game. I think this is going to be a Debo game, and if it turns out to be the case, Brock Purdy being, I know it's really tough not to give the quarterback an MVP, the quarterback an MVP, but if Debo has the game that I think he's gonna have, I think they could give the MVP to Debo, and I'd hit a 50-1 ticket.
So I'll jump in real quick because that was my last one I was going to talk about. Debo Super Bowl MVP. I have it at 25-1 on FanDuel. Absolutely love that. I think if the 49ers win, the MVP is either going to be CMC or Debo. And
I like that.
There's something about Debo. It's like he's such like a junkyard dog type of player. And the KC defense has been so good. I feel like if San Fran's going to win, it's going to take, a Superman type effort, like a multi-touchdown, one through the air, one on the ground type of week from Debo, like 100 total yards and 2 tutties. You can't keep MVP away from him. That's just kind of where I'm at. So, Rick, I doubled down on all the Debo props. I think I'm betting KC, but I think if the game goes the 49ers way, it's because of Debo.
I got to ask you guys. So I love that, Rick, by the way, because I don't bet much, but I do real research, and you guys can fact check me with the books. But I'm seeing Debo Samuel plus 140 for an anytime touchdown, plus 950 for the first touchdown, and plus 1,000 for the last touchdown. You just sprinkle a little bit on that first touchdown, and oh my God, if it hits, whoa!
I'm hammering it.
You're gonna have a great party.
What they're gonna do? They're gonna drive down to like the 4-yard line. It's gonna be a fake handoff to CMC. Debo coming around the end on the end around. He's gonna hand it off, and he's gonna beat the edge and score. That's gonna be the first touchdown.
I love it because he can do that. They use him on the ground.
He does it all the time.
Yeah. That's a great call. Great call, Rick.
I'm not going to bet Debo anytime touchdown. I'm going to bet him first or last. I'm going to bet both of them because I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. So if I only think there's going to be 3 or 4 touchdowns in the game, I'd rather bet first and last for 10-1 each rather than plus 140 for any time. So kind of where I'm at with it.
Nice. Jake, what do you got?
I'm going in a little bit of a different direction here. Now we know how big we know how like major league the officials have impacted the NFL this year, right? I mean, you guys can certainly speak on that a little bit from this past AFC Championship game. The the head referee in the Super Bowl, I believe, is Bill Vinovich, who, by the way, was the referee of the last Chiefs Super Bowl win against the 49ers in Super Bowl 54. No 13s really happening here. I was just counting on my fingers to see if Bill Vinovich would be, equivalent to 13, but it's not.
I'm checking what number he wears.
Yeah, no, it's like 54 or something, or 50, 52, I think. Yeah, 52.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not going to find any 13s there, but there are some prop bets on who will receive the first penalty, who will accept the first penalty. According to my statistics that I've seen, he does heavily favor the Chiefs in most of his games. So I'm going to do a prop bet on the Chiefs not getting the first penalty, or should I say the 49ers getting the first penalty of the game, and the Chiefs accepting that penalty. So that's a little prop bet to sprinkle in. I'm not sure. I have seen it on a couple of sites, like the weirder sites. It's not on FanDuel. I was just checking to see, but thought that was an interesting one, and one that I wanted to bring up just for that fact.
Interesting. That's probably what, just an even bet 100 to win 100.
I actually don't think on the one side I was on, it was like plus 132.
Okay.
for the Chiefs, which is interesting because maybe it's one of those things where he doesn't want to be too obvious about it. So that's one bet. I do want to read off my my little parlay as well here because I have some prop bets involved in this. So give me 1 second here, fellas. I just cooked this one up. You inspired me a little bit. I did hammer first touchdown scorer Deebo Samuel. I have an anytime touchdown for Christian McCaffrey, an anytime touchdown for Travis Kelce. I like the alternate receiving yards here for Christian McCaffrey at 25 or more. I also like 50-plus receiving yards for Travis Kelce. This is going to be like a 10-leg parlay, by the way. Rashee Rice at 40-plus yards. Sky Moore at 12-plus yards. And then the 49ers money line. So let's ride, baby. I'm going to throw 25 on it to win like $1,000. So here we go.
I like it.
It's a lot there, but I feel like those are all very plausible.
Wait,
don't know, do you
if you
disagree?
hit all of those, you're only winning 1,000. It feels like you
think
like
so.
if you hit a 10-leg
Let's see here.
parlay for some of those things you said, it feels like you would win a lot more. I don't know.
He's taking alt lines on some of them. Like,
Yeah, they're alternate lines. Yeah, so some of these are like not even that great. They're like minus 112.
minus
Oh,
200.
But I feel confident about every single one of those hitting. I don't know. Do you guys disagree with any of those? I know there was a lot there. I can go back and reread them if I have to.
I like it. I like it. I mean, it's a little sprinkle. 25 to win 1,000. That's pretty good odds.
Why not? Right?
Yeah.
It's like $1,012. We'll take it.
Kelsey.
What about you,
scored-
Mike? You got it. You got any props that you like?
I'm just listening to you guys. No, I after you said the
What about the
Samuel one,
Gatorade?
I
Anything
like
about the Gatorade? Red or
well,
pink?
well, we're not getting into the funny ones yet because there's some
Okay.
good ones about that. But
Fair.
you know, I like the anytime touchdowns. I like going with the first. The last one's a little tougher, but it pays more. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna ride with you guys on that one. Yeah. So let me go back to Chris, and I'll give you some of the funny ones later when we get there. But I think Chris, you said you had like 4 on your list. That you like?
Yeah. My next one I like is just a simple player comparison. So love this one too. It looks like all my props are San Francisco based. I don't know why. I'm taking George Kittle plus 22.5 yards versus Travis Kelce.
Okay. I like that.
Okay. I
So
like that too.
Kittle had 80 some receiving yards last game, I believe, or the game before. I don't know. I think that there's a 40% chance he just beats him outright. So if you're giving me 22.5 yards from the start, George Kittle's a big play kind of guy. So I think it might only take one big play and he has 35, 40, 45 yards, and I'm probably made in the shade already. So I don't know. That was when I was scrolling through the props. That was the one that literally made me stop, and I'm like, I don't even need to think about it. I'm in on that. So George Kittle plus 22.5 yards against Kelce.
I like that.
All right. Chris, you want to just go through the other two, and we'll finish up with Rick's and Jake's. Let's do it that way.
Cool. Yeah. I already said the one, Deebo Samuel, 25 to 1 to win Super Bowl MVP. Like that is a long shot. And then the last one I have that's just like pretty much a straight up bet is total amount of players to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl, 4.5. I'm taking the under, and for multiple reasons. As you already know, I'm big on the under of this game. That's reason number one. Reason number two, take it back to when we talk about fantasy football. A lot of times you hear me talk about like funnel offenses, which basically means they might score a lot, but it's very condensed who does the scoring. San Francisco and Kansas City are like number 1 and 2. You'll hear me repeat funnel offense over and over and over. When San Francisco scores, you know who it's going to be. They don't have off the wall people that come in and get the ball in crunch time. Kansas City is the same exact way. I'll name 8 players right now that I think have a possibility of scoring a touchdown, reasonably. And all I'm asking for is that only 4 of them score, because I actually think we're going to have a repeat touchdown scorer throughout the game, possibly. So CMC, Ayuk, Deebo, Kittle, Pacheco, Kelce, Rasheed Rice, and then I'll even throw Patrick Mahomes in there to run one in. That's only 8 players. I can't really think of anyone else within reason that wouldn't be just a total long shot to score a touchdown. And then when you're talking about multiple touchdown scorers, CMC does it all the time. Debo does it all the time. Pacheco can do it. Kelsey does it all the time. I think it's going to be a condensed group of people that score, plus a low-scoring game. 2 really good reasons, under 4.5 players to score.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I like it, Chris.
Yep. Should I just give you the rest of my props here, Mike?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I do have one thing I've noticed over Patrick Mahomes' Super Bowl career is he does like to run the ball. He does get out of the pocket and scrambles. His rushing prop is pretty high. I'm not completely in love with the number, but he has hit the over in every Super Bowl he's played in as far as rushing goes. It's 26.5 right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. So I like the over 26.5 rushing yards for Patrick Mahomes. That's the only other not silly prop that I have. So let me give you some of my not silly-ish props, but kind of just things that are just long shots here. You're gonna like this one, Jake. I got 200-1 Sam Darnold to win Super Bowl MVP. You like that?
That's
you watched
amazing.
the Pat Mayo show today.
Yeah, I love it. 200-1. Just in case if Brock Purdy goes down in the first quarter, Sam Darnold comes in. If the 49ers win that game with Sam Darnold the quarterback, he's going to be MVP. I'll tell you that much right now. So 200-1, just a little, $5 on that. I like the prop for either team scoring 3 times in a row unanswered, meaning they score 3 times in a row without the other team scoring. I like the no on that. I think it's going to be a back and forth game the whole time. I just really can't see 3 teams there being 3 scores by the same team in a row in this game. So the no on that, I got it at plus 105. It's pretty much an even money bet, yes or no, both sides. So if you can find that, I don't really know where that's available for legal books, but I have it on my offshore. Other than that, the only other thing that I liked, just for football wise, is going to be 8-1, and you can get this on DraftKings Sportsbook, that the game will end as time runs out on a game-winning field goal, 8-1. Wow. So that's a little silly prop. I have the scores 27-24. It could be a game-winning field goal from who's the Niners kicker again?
Jake Moody, rookie.
Jake Moody, yeah.
Jake
Moody kicking a field goal as time expires. The only thing I don't like about that is what if he's kicking a field goal with 8 seconds left? Then you don't win your bet because time has to expire for you to win that bet. So that would be a brutal way to.
He's missed a field goal in 4 or 5 straight games, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm going.
Yeah,
I love it.
Rick, what's the payout on the Mahomes over 26.5?
It's just even money. It's minus 110.
You were concerned about that number. I love that number. He can get that on one rush of his. So
yeah, no, he can. He's hit, like I said, he's hit the over rushing in every one of his Super Bowls. So he does like to extend the play with his legs, and he likes to get outside the pocket. And when he has room to run, he's going to run. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty confident with that bet. And then the last thing I have, me being a golf guy, I'm going to give you guys a little cross sport prop here. On DraftKings Sportsbook, they're offering a prop for Justin Thomas's round 1 score tomorrow versus Rasheed Rice receiving yards. So now, yeah. So right now, weather's looking a little iffy in Arizona, where the pros are playing this week. It's going to be a little cold tomorrow. It's going to be a little rainy tomorrow. I don't think the scores are going to be too high there tomorrow. So I'm thinking Justin Thomas, one of the best players in the world, is probably going to shoot something like a 69 or a 70. So I don't think Rasheed Rice is going to get to that yardage number. So right now I'm seeing that as minus 120 for Justin Thomas. So I'm going to take Justin Thomas's round 1 score is going to be higher than Rasheed Rice's receiving yards in the game.
Wow. Very nice.
If,
Okay.
if you want to find that, you just go to DraftKings Sportsbook. They have a list for cross sport specials. It's just the whole list is nothing but golf and football cross sport specials. So
That
just
is
something
amazing.
fun to bet on since I'm the golf guy here.
For sure. I might have to hit it. You guys are giving me a lot of ideas. I mean, I got my phone right here just putting these in. So I'm
Well,
on it.
let me ask you, Rick, what book can we use out here in California, or is there one we can use other than going to
Yeah,
casino?
I mean, there's a Bovada, which is it's an offshore book that I've used pretty much since I've lived here, but there's no legal books here, so unfortunately, we have another election coming up this year, so we're going to vote again. Last time it was voted down, so the only thing about these offshore books is you can't deposit and withdraw your money like straight from your bank account. You have to buy crypto, like you have to buy Bitcoin.
Oh yeah,
to
my buddy
deposit.
does all that. Yeah.
So that's not fun. It's a little loophole that they have, but that's the only site that I really use. And then if I need to place a bet on a legal book, I just text Chris or text one of my Maryland friends and be like, put this in for me.
Does
You guys,
Vegas-
can you
does
guys
Ve-
do like DraftKings and FanDuel Sportsbook?
No, we can't do that here. It's illegal.
We could do both. That's crazy.
Oh, Jake, I know who I'll be talking to then.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Mike. If you guys need any bets, I could put them in. I mean, I got
All right,
FanDuel,
cool.
DraftKings, BetMGM. What else? You name it. Basically, we got all of it.
Mostly everything on the East Coast, all the states on the East Coast have legalized it, and then some Midwest states, and then the for some reason the West Coast is just
why?
behind on
What is
legalizing.
that?
I don't know. We had it up last election in 2020 for yes or no, and it got shot down big time. It was like 70% no. People
So
don't
why wouldn't you? Maybe
they
because
don't want to gamble.
Vegas or yeah, that's
I don't
weird.
know.
We've got some casinos out here in SoCal.
Yeah, that's I was
Normally,
gonna say. You got
we got
and Vegas is
Pachanga,
right
the
there.
biggest. Like we live a mile away from the biggest casino in Southern California, which is
Wow.
the Pachanga Casino. Does Vegas take these prop bets? Like if I had a guy who walked into one of the casinos and wanted a place to take, place these prop bets for me. Okay, cool.
Absolutely, yeah. Mhm.
All right, cool. Jake, what do you got? Finish up your list.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little inspired about the quarterback's rushing yards. So there is one here right on FanDuel that I'm looking at that I really do like. Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy to combine for 50 or more rushing yards. I mean, we mentioned how at a moment's notice, one of those guys can take off. I mean, we saw it this year in the playoffs. One of those guys can just take off for 20 plus yards, and sneaky athleticism on both of those young men. So not
Does that
saying
pay
that
plus money? Plus money?
plus 150.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not bad. I
I
kind of
like
like
that
that.
a lot.
Another one. This is an interesting one. So we got Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle to all combine for 300 plus receiving yards. Tempting. We talked about George Kittle having a day. Now I don't know if CMC's receiving yards are going to be up to par, but between Brandon Ayuk and Debo, that could help a little bit too. And hey, Chris, you said Debo might have a big day. So
Rick said it too.
now the odds are plus 750. I'm going to throw 10 on it and see what happens. Because why
So
not?
it was 4 players?
4
combined?
players. Christian, Debo, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle. They have 300 receiving yards combined.
Oh, they're all on the same team. Okay.
Right. So it's interesting. That's also
Oh,
saying that
okay.
Brock Purdy is probably going to throw for 300 yards unless there's like
Well,
a
he's gonna probably have to throw for 350 for that to hit, right? 'Cause
for sure.
someone else will get some.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it.
If you think that's gonna hit, there's another bet out here on DraftKings. It's titled For the Swiftie, so like all these bets are like named after her songs. So they have Anti-Hero, which is like her most like famous song from her last album. It's Brock Purdy, 250 plus yards passing and two passing touchdowns or more, at like 2.5 to 1 for your money. I don't know if you like that. I kind of like that too.
I do like that. I'm going to do both.
Yeah. 250.
And I think a lot of people are probably going to, that's not bad. A lot of people probably will think I'm nuts because the Chiefs defense is like legit as it comes,
Yeah.
I think they're due. I think they're due to just kind of fall apart. So I just have an inkling, so I'm ready to throw some money on these and see what happens. Why not? Get a little stupid.
We didn't do no defensive props, no sacks, no turnovers.
Oh, I got one. There is one
Okay.
on here too. It was pretty interesting. It was like both Nick Bosa and Chris Jones to record 1.5 sacks, and it was like plus 350 or plus 450.
Wow. Both of them record
Two
one and a half.
1.5 sacks.
1.5, nice.
For both of them, yeah. Like each, rather, yeah.
Yeah.
Each records 1.5 sacks, yeah.
Well, Chris Jones is going up against the best offensive lineman in football, so I don't know.
He is. Well, maybe, I don't know. Is he? Because Joe Tooney, or I'm sorry, Chris Jones.
No.
Yeah,
Don't talk about Trent Williams.
yeah, I freaking love that. Trent Williams is a stud. Although Chris Jones kind of moves all over the place,
Yeah, he's more.
But on the other side, you got Joe Tooney as a guard. Nick Bosa won't be going up against him. He'll be going up against one of the tackles there. So whether it's Jawan Taylor or Donovan Smith.
What do you guys know what an octopus is?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is
No.
you're gonna have to refresh me a little bit.
It's a great game for an octopus. Funnel offenses. You want to bet octopuses.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a bet here where under the Swifty props where Travis Kelce can score an octopus and it's 30-1 for your money. So $100 wins $3.
Oh, so he scores a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, scores a touchdown and then he scores the ensuing 2-point conversion.
So
that'd be pretty sweet.
The octopus is a good bet for these two teams because close game you might see 2-point conversion. But
it only happened one time all year in the NFL.
So it's 10-1.
Who did it?
To bet any player to get an octopus, it's 10-1. But I feel like of any of the teams, it would be these teams because I feel like Kelce to Kelce or CMC back-to-back, Debo back-to-back. It's just I think it's the right combination of players that you would just like want to lean on. But that's more of a fun one, right?
I like that though. I'm here for that for sure.
Just looking at these numbers here, we talked about it, the anytimes, because you got Samuel at 140 plus 140, Rice at plus 140, Ayuk at 175, Kittle 185 plus 400 for Mahomes. That's pretty damn good. Plus 600 for Valdez Scantling. That's just on anytime touchdown. So, but the other one too that you guys, I'm shocked that you didn't hear, is like what color Gatorade is going to be poured on the coach. Apparently orange has been the most popular, but blue has been used the last 2 times. And if you get any of whatever color you get right, it's plus. For instance, if you hit blue, if you say, all right, last 2 years it's been blue, I think it's going to go 3 in a row, plus 450 on that bet.
Wow.
Sprinkle a little bit on that. You want to go with the popular orange? Plus 350. It's crazy. I don't know where you can find these. I don't know what books have those. Who has those crazy type of bets? Gatorade, the color Gatorade that's used.
So I always hear don't bet on anything that's predetermined, like Gatorade color, national anthem length, amount of songs during halftime show, because at some point that information leaks. And then, thousands of people bet it in like 10 minutes and then it's just off the board.
Oh,
yeah. So in relation to what Chris just said, the books have gotten smart this year. They have decided that once Reba McEntire has done her rehearsals for the national anthem, they're pulling those books off the bets off their book, like that you won't be able to bet that the length of the national anthem after her rehearsals, because once that rehearsal is done, you kind of know how long that national anthem is going to be. So if like that information leaks, they're gonna lose that bet. But the thing with those bets, you can't bet more than like 20 or $30 on it anyway. They're like capped at those numbers. But at least books, from what I'm hearing, is that once the rehearsal's done, they're gonna pull that off their book that you can't bet it anymore. That's
pretty smart move on their part. Yeah.
A lot of people like the under 90 seconds for the national anthem this year.
I don't know much about Reba McEntire, so I'm at no.
That's Chris's no. He's a country boy.
Reba's the queen of country. Come on, now.
He's like,
I don't know much about her.
80s country. She's top 3 female country singer ever.
Really?
I
Wow.
used to
Still,
watch it.
he still got it, Chief. She's probably in her 70s, looking hot. Just wait.
Heck yeah. All right.
She's
by the way-
original Red Rocket.
Yes. By the way, rest in peace of Toby Keith. That's horrible news.
Yeah.
I did see that. That's terrible.
Man, if you want to cry tonight, I just saw it earlier. It really made me sad. I guess he did like a People's Choice Award. He sang a song, and it's a song it was written by someone else, but he sang it. It was called like "Don't Let the Old Man In." Basically, meaning
yeah.
I saw
like,
that, Chris.
oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
so. I guess it was very recently. Basically, he knew he was on his way out, and it's a song about like you got to try really hard not to get old. Like you gotta fight. You gotta stay young. It is really sad. Once you see, like at the time, probably no one thought anything of it, but
Yeah.
then when he passes away, and you look what he sang a couple months ago, it was pretty sad.
Yeah, I saw that on
Man.
social media yesterday, I think, and his wife's out there standing up. So, yeah, I'm with you. He knew it. 62 years old, stomach cancer. I didn't even know. I never heard that he was sick.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He took a break for a while, and they said he was ill, but then he came back and did like a little tour, and he was his old self, and I guess he must have relapsed from that. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, crazy stuff. Good time here. We made good time, guys. Appreciate your time. Two of us picking the Niners and two of us picking the Chiefs. So we'll see who takes it down. We gave you some prop bets. Those are always a little fun. I'm not a big bettor. I'll probably hit up Jake and throw $50 on some of these things we talked about.
There we go.
And see what hits. Probably I like to bet the first one. Who scores that first touchdown. I think you got some
Devo.
I know I'm going with all Debo for sure. So I love it. So Chris and Rick, appreciate you. And Jake, of course, always fun.
Wait. We didn't talk about something very important.
What?
What's our? I think we talked about this last year, and we didn't talk about it this year. What's our appetizer of choice this year?
This is the most important thing.
All right, let's
Come
go.
on now.
Anything with ranch.
Anything with ranch. Okay, that leaves. That's
Rick, let me give you some good news. I found a good wing place out here just recently. Finally, it's in Marietta. It's called Wings and Me. Have you heard about it?
All right. No, I haven't.
It's a new place. It's got a little Asian infused food on their menu, but their wings are traditional wings and they are perfectly cooked. They have your mild, medium, hot buffalo sauce, but they have some other specialty sauces. Go check it out. I was so impressed. The wings are huge. The cook on the skin is just fantastic. It kind of I haven't had them, Jake, but from all that I've heard about wing nuts there in Buffalo, how it's a little crunch to them. I feel like this would be similar. And they're huge. I'm like, what are they feeding these chickens that they're using? Because I'm telling you, Rick, there was like I had 5 wings and I was full. Now I don't eat as much as I used to, but my son, who was like ready to order like 20 by himself, I said, no, let's not get 20. You're not going to eat 20. He could only get down 5 of those wings. He loved them. He said, Dad, he even said, Jake, I'm going to say this now. He didn't have a lot to go off of when he went to Buffalo. Yeah, he said, Dad, these are better than the ones in Buffalo. And the only ones he had in Buffalo were at the Barbell, Jake. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, but here's the problem, though. Didn't you get mild sauce?
I don't know. I don't remember what we ordered, but he probably
Which is a huge no-no.
If tomorrow
we got to do it right.
Yeah, if tomorrow he tried another wing place and he loved it, he would say, this is the best wing. So I'm sure he doesn't remember his time in Buffalo. But Rick, we finally got a place. You got to check it out. And I'm
gonna get some there from Sunday.
All right, cool. And they have they sell 5, 10, 20, 30, and of course you can get a lot more than that. But they have some good prices all the way up to 30. So Chris, my wife is gonna be making wings. She makes the best wings out here in SoCal because she's perfected it, but she doesn't do it often, only on events. And since we're hosting some folks, it's wings. And Jake, what are you going with? It's got to be wings, I'd imagine.
Well, kind of a theme. Buffalo chicken wing dip That's like the
Okay.
staple dip here in Buffalo, right? So blue cheese base, fellas. Blue cheese base. Rudy's blue cheese, the best here in Buffalo. Best store bought, but every wing place here does their own homemade version of it. It's beautiful. Blue cheese is not what you think. I know what you're thinking, probably, Rick. I see the face you're making. It doesn't look great. You're probably going to throw up right now. Blue cheese is not what you guys have grown accustomed to. In Buffalo, it's a creamy chip dip, essentially. It is nothing compared to what you've ever had in your entire life. Trust me, when you come here, you'll understand, and you're never going to go back to ranch again. Well, maybe you will because you live in California. But here in Buffalo, we don't even eat ranch. We don't even look at ranch. Ranch is solely, at the very most, a salad dressing. So blue cheese base with this chicken wing dip. You do a little rotisserie in there. You do some buffalo. I use so Bar-Bill has their sauce now that is in store. So I do the medium sauce. I put that in. Put a dash of hot sauce or two. You put some cheese in there, and it is the best. Oh my gosh. Do some Tostitos with that sucker. It is phenomenal, guys. And then on top of that, I'm going to get some Picasso's pizza because Buffalo style pizza is pretty damn good too.
Yeah, I second that. The best. Chris, are you a blue cheese guy?
Nah, big ranch guy. Ranch on everything. I'm with Rick. But yeah,
Okay.
we're going to a Super Bowl party. My wife's family is from Cincinnati originally, so I don't know if you're familiar with Cincinnati chili.
Skyline chili.
Skyline chili. They're a little
Oh, yeah.
weird the way they eat chili. No beans, no accoutrement in the chili. It's just meat, and it's got cinnamon in it and chocolate, and little odd, but you kind of get used to it, right? But no, my Super Bowl food of choice is the buffalo wing. Why? 13 letters.
Oh, wow. Well, if we want to go a step further, Bills lost to the Chiefs in the 13-second game, too. So
Wow.
here we go. Unbelievable.
You didn't have
We're
to bring
doing
that
this show.
up.
I know. Well, I did. I had no choice there.
So
I
guys,
did have a choice.
the blue cheese for me. So I'm going to tell this. I know Jake hates to hear it, but when I grew up in Buffalo, I didn't. I grew up with a single mom. We were poor. So whatever food we got, they always served the wings with blue cheese and celery and carrots. So I didn't like it at first as a kid, but I grew to love it because that's all I had. I had to eat it. And then once I moved to Cali, they didn't have a lot of it out here. Shoot, they don't really have any good wing places out here, until I found the most recent one. So I kind of got away from it. And anytime I had it out here, it was terrible. It was just it has that aftertaste. And then Jake was telling me, Mike, it's when you come back, you're gonna, it's homemade here. It's fantastic. I went back home, tried it again. And guys, it was the same aftertaste. Just
Wild.
didn't enjoy it at all. And,
3 versus 1, Jake. You lose this one. Sorry.
This is
I
tough.
know,
This is
I know.
tough.
I know this hurts, and I feel bad for saying this because it is a thing. If you go to Buffalo and you order ranch at any of
They'll
the
look at you
places,
like,
I think they do something to your wings as well. They look at you and
honestly.
like, "What? Where are you from, man?" They'll ask you,
Yep.
like, "What's wrong with you? Have you tried our blue cheese?" And I just feel like they do something to the wings. So just be careful if you order that back east.
You guys are all talking about wings. I'm a big nacho guy. You guys don't like nachos?
Love nachos. Love nachos.
Nachos are good.
Can't go wrong. Yep.
You make your own nachos, or you got a place you like to go get them?
I'm not good at cooking. My wife makes good dip for nachos, but I like nachos like where everything's on it, like
Loaded
everything.
nachos. Yeah.
Loaded nachos. Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Hey Jake, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you watch sports-wise between Super Bowl and opening day of football?
Dude, we got the UFL coming up, baby. We got like a week in between here, and we're back at it. My poor wife does not get a break ever.
Yeah,
It's
so
football all year round.
always all year round for football.
Yeah,
huh?
and prior to that, like when we didn't have it, it would just be reruns, highlights, nonstop. Mike Allstott highlights. Mike Allstott, Tony Richardson. You can name any fullback. It's on the television at all times.
Yeah, we got to get you into baseball or something, man.
Well, we do have the Buffalo Bisons here. They're our minor league team. And, of course, we have the Sabres, too. So I'm, a Sabres fan. They had a tough loss last night, 2-1. They probably should have won that game, Mike. How many freaking opportunities have they blown? It is tough to watch.
Yeah.
big. I mean, I think we were a bigger hockey town, obviously, when we were in the playoffs and stuff. But we have a lot of diehard Sabre fans here too.
Yeah.
You know what
So,
Jake does do to occupy his time is a lot of quizzes. He loves sports trivia. So
Good segue.
he made a video, which I'm going to be posting here later tonight. Where
You guys got to
to
watch this one.
It's Sporkle, right? Is what it's called.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
tell them a little bit about this game.
Have you guys heard of Sporkle before?
Heard of it.
Yeah.
So it's like this quiz website. You could literally type in any category out there. So I just literally typed in NFL 2000s, and there was a bunch of quizzes that came up, and you have to name, like, for the one I did, it was like name the last or 178 1,000-yard seasons that occurred between the years 2000 and 2009, and it's every season listed, and it's in order of the amount of rushing yards, 1,000 up through 2066, held by your boy Jamal Lewis in 2003. And you just type all the names in. You got to get them all within like 8 minutes. So that's like the concept of it, and they're all different categories. But and I got 100%. Well, you'll see. Maybe I got 100%. I
Don't
know.
spoil
I
it.
don't know.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah.
He's the king of trivia, man, and that's what he does. Like late at night, when everyone's in bed,
That's what I do, man.
He's like texting me, Mike. I just did 3 Sporkles. Download it, post it. I'm like, all right, I'm all for it. Then him and his buddy Ian. You wasn't Sporkle. What was that one called?
So that was Immaculate Grid. Have you guys played that one? So it's
Yeah, I played Immaculate Grid.
now that's fun too.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
fun.
we tried to get the lowest rarity score on that, so we got a 10 on the one. That was pretty good. But Morton Anderson threw us off a little bit. He gave us like an 8%. So I'm like, that's not good. Everything else was like 0.5 or lower. So not bad. Ross Verba, that was a name I threw on there. I don't know if you guys remember that name.
Jesus.
No.
Chris
Yeah.
or Rick, can you guys stomach UFL?
No, I don't watch any football besides college and NFL.
Man.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Like the quality of football is terrible.
I don't know, man. These guys, listen, there was a lot of dudes from the USFL. Brandon Aubrey, kicker for the Cowboys, Birmingham Stallions. Guy was unbelievable.
Okay, fine. I
Thumbs up
kick
the
her,
league.
but what about
No, there's some other players too.
I'm
Marcel
sold.
Bateman,
When does it start?
you know, hey, just saying, give it a shot. At least watch week 1. You got to just check it out, and it's cool because it's the XFL and USFL now. They're merged together.
Do you know what teams are
separately.
good and which teams are bad? They're like what players are good?
St. Louis our boy Battlehawks, who actually hasn't joined us tonight. I'm very surprised. That's his team. And St. Louis, I'll tell you what, they are on a mission. So
Does
Yeah,
does
I
He Hate Me still play?
what's that?
Remember He Hate Me from XFL? Does he
Oh
still
yeah, Rod. Yeah, no, unfortunately, Rod Smart does not still play.
See, Chris, he's been
Philip
watching it.
Lindsay, though. Philip Lindsay played last year with the Seattle Sea Dragons. That was kind of cool. Yeah.
We'll be watching the Orioles play baseball. How about that?
Fair
There you
enough.
go.
Fair
There
enough,
you go.
fellas. Yeah,
So you don't have a baseball team, Jay?
I kind of do. I mean, the Blue Jays are our affiliate team, so I mean that was cool. They actually came to
Everybody in
Buffalo.
likes the Blue Jays, yeah.
Yeah. So they came to Buffalo a little bit during 2020, during COVID and all that. They played here, and then I think it was during 2021 as well. They were getting some stuff done at their stadium or whatever. But yeah, I would say the Blue Jays would probably be my team. But do I have like I used to be a Marlins fan back in the days that they had the D train. This is after they won the World Series, by the way. Dontrell Willis, Mike Jacobs, Jeremy Hermida. I mean, I can go on and on and on.
Gary Sheffield, right?
Gary Sheffield. Well, he was during the World Series. It was post World Series, like 2005, 2006, where they were like on the major decline. Hanley Ramirez.
Jake, you got to go bigger. I
You just be
mean,
an Orioles fan, Jake.
no,
Yeah.
Yankees, buddy. Come on, I grew up in Buffalo
No,
myself.
no,
Yankees was the
no.
team. You can't go to another. I mean, yeah, Toronto.
I don't
Blue
like New
Jays,
York.
They're
I
over
hate-
the border,
I
3
don't
hours
hate.
away.
Okay.
Come
Yeah,
on,
but
you got the
New York,
greats,
like-
the Yankee greats, my friend.
yeah, I know. But Canada's our friendly neighbor. I mean, we're basically in Canada, Mike. Buffalo is 20 minutes from
yeah.
the border.
You know,
New York, I like New York City. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't like New York teams. I'm not about that. Like, I'm not a Jets guy. I'm not a Giants guy. I can't do that.
I got a signed baseball back there from Bucky Dent. Now, do you know who Bucky Dent is?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Okay, so he played shortstop, and he was
Yeah.
the one to hit the home run against the Boston Red Sox in that playoff. Were the Yankees?
This guy?
That's pretty cool, actually.
No, he wasn't that one. But the Yankees were so far back of Boston that year. They caught
Yeah.
up to him. They had a 1-game playoff. Bucky Dent hit this home run over the green monster to win the game. And then in the World Series, he was the MVP for the World Series that they won.
Freaking love that. Yeah.
Good stuff.
My dad was a big Johnny Bench fan growing up. He was a big Reds fan back in the day. But he has a signed Johnny Bench bat. He'll tell you all about it.
There were a lot of
And
people
then,
that like the Reds that I
So
knew.
who was the guy that did the thing Rick was saying? Was that Bench
Yeah.
or Mike Smith?
I think it
Like
was a
Smith?
Reds. I think it was a Reds
I
guy.
think that was Johnny Bench.
I think it was Johnny Bench.
It was
Yeah. My
Okay.
dad would know. If he's still in the show. I don't know if he's still watching, but I think that was Johnny Bench. That's what made me
might
think
have
of it.
Yeah,
It was either Bench or Mike Schmidt. I don't know which one it was.
Hmm.
I think it was older than Smith. So I'm thinking.
And Aaron
that's-
Boone had a similar one, right? That he made some sort of. Remember his famous home run in the playoffs down the third base line.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I can mess with some baseball. I do enjoy watching. I really do like baseball. I just don't really have an allegiance per se right now.
I mean, we talked
Maybe you
about
guys can
the
sway me.
women's golf. What are they? LPGA. You said you
LPGA. Yeah,
enjoyed
I'll be
that?
watching some golf too, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. LPGA for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. So listen, thanks again. We gotta get out of here. Hour and 25. Thank you, guys. We'll talk soon.
Alrighty.
Absolutely.
See ya.
Go Bills.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone.